Bulunaka, do you know that cybercrime is becoming a growing problem in Fiji?
Cybercrime is defined as a crime in which a computer is the object of the crime, such as hacking and spamming.
Cybercrime is also cyberbullying and using fake profiles to cause panic and spreading false news.
If you're involved in this or know anyone who's committing these crimes, report them immediately.
I'm Polly.
And I'm Peter.
We host the Traffic Jam Show on City FM.
From 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. every weekday.
Do the right thing.
Yanravanaka, Fiji. In this bulletin, Parliament approves government guarantee for Fiji Airways. SEDELPA office bearer positions disputed. And unemployed Fijians seek social welfare assistance.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Smith.
Parliament has approved for the government to guarantee the Fiji Airways borrowing of $455 million. This consists of a mix of domestic borrowing of up to 191.1 million Fijian dollars and offshore borrowings of up to 117.1 million US dollars. This will be valid for 3 years, effective from May 30th. Civil Aviation Minister Ayaz Said Qayyum says this will keep the national airline Fiji Airways up and running. Said Qayyum says the national airline is feeling the full brunt of the COVID-19 impacts, resulting in job losses, the grounding of flights, and this cannot continue. Said Qayyum says they are earning near zero revenue and is seeking the government's help to address the issue.
The guarantee that we are seeking are for a number of sources of funding that will be ascertained. FNPF is providing a loan of $53.6 million. The Reserve Bank of Fiji, through the Export Finance Facility loan, will lend $75 million to the Fiji Development Bank, which will then on-lend to Fiji Airways, because RBF cannot do direct lending, at a rate of 3%. So FDB will have the opportunity to make some money with a 2% margin that they will charge.
More than 700 staff of Fiji Airways were yesterday given termination letters due to the severe impacts of COVID-19 on the airline. FBC News understands that these include the flight attendants, 79 expatriate pilots and 8 expatriate executives. The airline has 6 local executives who will all retain their jobs and now constitute the majority of the leadership team. Details with Felipe Naikaso.
758 employees from across Fiji's national carrier today received their termination letter, which was emailed to them. The staff being let go will be paid a minimum notice period of 1 month plus any accumulated leave and other entitlements. Fiji Airways Managing Director and Chief Executive Andre Villion says the adjustments are necessary and unavoidable as the COVID-19 crisis endures, causing the further suspension of scheduled international services and ensuring that the airline will receive virtually zero revenue in the coming months. Villion says this is a very difficult announcement and one that has been made only making after exhausting all other options. Villion goes on to say that when the first flight suspensions were announced in March, they implemented a series of actions aimed at taking them through April to June period in the hope that the crisis would abate and some level of demand would return. Other major airlines such as Air New Zealand, which also operates to Fiji, has also laid off its staff. Felipe Naikaso, FBC News.
The Registrar of Political Parties confirmed that he has received a dispute to the application of substitution submitted by a faction of the Social Democratic Liberal Party. The appointment of Emilian Dui Tuturanga as Registered General Secretary of SEDELPA earlier yesterday was disputed by Andilitia Ngionim Baravi. Andilitia also disputed the list of office holders of the party that purportedly signed in support of Ndui Tuturanga. Registrar Mohammed Sanim yesterday announced Vijay Singh as the acting president, Ratuchone Lesuma and Georgina Pareti Raiwalai as acting vice presidents, while Emilian Dui Tuturanga is recognized as general secretary of the party. Dui Tuturanga has until midday today to provide her response to the registrar. The Tauke Trust Fund Board recorded a significant increase in its income in the 2017 annual review report. Economy Minister Ayaz Said Qayyum, while contributing to a motion on the debate of the report of the institution, highlighted that with the new board, they had significantly expanded their bottom line.
If we look at the total comprehensive income, Mr. Speaker, so if we compare 2017 to 2016, it actually jumped from 5.6 million to 13.38 million dollars, Mr. Speaker, sir. Similarly, the total equity increased from 93 million to 107 million dollars, Mr. Speaker, sir.
The Nandronga Navosa Youth Association is planning a survey soon to ascertain the effectiveness of suicide prevention training sessions they've carried out in recent years. Youth Ambassador Esala Ndelana says suicide prevention has always topped discussions at their annual provincial meeting due to the high number of cases in the area. Chasaina Nunga reports.
The Youth Association in the province is hopeful they will be able to reduce attempted suicide and suicide cases.
The major one that I face in my district is suicide. In my district, there were 4 that have taken their lives, and there were 5 more that have attempted suicide. In regards to these issues, is really touching.
Empower Pacific Chief Executive Patrick Morgan says they have been in constant contact with the group in a bid to address the issue, particularly in these trying times.
In Nandronga Bosa, Serua province, where we have provided our services previously to follow up.
Consistent visitation to the youths, it also empowers them to become, to know their responsibilities in the communities, and also to empower them to become something in the community.
Last year, Fiji recorded 28 suicide cases and 35 attempted suicides. 10 cases were recorded from the north, 18 from the south, and 29 cases were from the Western Division. Jose Nanuga, FBC News.
Prime Minister Vurenge Bainimarama says some opposition members could not summon decency to grant the former Prime Minister a proper send-off. He adds that the government has done its part and says he couldn't attend the funeral as he was scheduled to visit islands that were affected by natural disaster. Bainimarama says his office managed the late Prime Minister's funeral arrangements as safely as could be done in the height of the COVID-19 pandemic.
My office of the Prime Minister chartered a Fiji Link flight from Suva to transport Mr. Ngaras' body to Mabana and funded the transportation of his family to Unumbalagu by ship. We bore the cost of health screening the mourners who traveled to Unumbalagu to ensure the deadly COVID-19 virus did not spread unchecked and undetected during the travel to the ceremony.
Coming up, Baba's Olympic leadership still unclear, and Fiji FA targets July start. The Fiji Football Association is planning to resume local football competitions by July 1st. The Fiji FA is reviewing its tournament calendar for this year with a tentative date set for competitions. Tale Matarakula reports the revised calendar could likely see the cancellation of the 2020 Vodafone Fiji FAC tournament.
Revising our plans for a July 1st kickoff.
This would see the resumption of ongoing competitions.
BPL will kick off with the BPL, the VSL, the Senior League, and Women's Senior League as well.
Revising the number of matches that can be accommodated for the rest of the season, Fiji FA's chief executive has highlighted the Vodafone Fiji fact could be negated.
Kick off in 1st July, then obviously Fiji fact is out of question. It will be cancelled and noted as not held.
Meanwhile, 2019 Fiji Fact champ Nandi has backed their support towards the idea.
Fiji Fact has been cancelled, so cancel. What can we do? We cannot do anything. It is because of the betterment of the people in the country. Don't want the disease to spread and the time frame. So I think Fiji football has made the right decision.
At the moment, all competitions are planned towards the July 1st tentative date. However, Yusuf says this is also subject to change, depending on how early restrictions will be lifted. Talima Terkula, FBC Sports.
Whether current Fiji Sevens coach Gareth Baber will take the side to next year's Olympic Games is unclear at the moment. Baber has yet to discuss the issue with Fiji Rugby Union, as his contract will expire in 8 months, while the postponed Olympics will be held 6 months later. Speaking exclusively to FBC Sports, Baber says right now he just hopes to get back to business with the players. Aquila Dama with the details.
The big question is whether Baber will be there with Team Fiji for the Tokyo Olympics next year. But for that to happen, the Welshman will need a contract extension.
My contract was always, it'll be 4 years in January of 2021, and that's where it is at the moment. Obviously, I will have conversations with my bosses at the FIU, and if they feel that they want to push on with me to the Olympics, then obviously those conversations will happen at that stage.
Having his contract extended is one thing. Then there's the funding issue amid the COVID-19 crisis.
Fiji Rugby Union will have to come to us for an extension to his contract from January. And then it will depend on available funding from government.
The national coach celebrated his 48th birthday in Mbanga over the weekend. Aquila Dama, FBC Sports.
Fiji Mbati and Storm prop Tui Kamikamiva is expected to be fit for Saturday's NRL clash with the Raiders. The Taviuni man, dubbed the Terminator, has been struggling with a back injury but looks set to suit up for the Storms when they host the Green Machines from Canberra. Storms assistant coach Jason Riles says the Taviuni lad had been placed in cotton wool to ensure he would be right for the team's restart to the NRL season. Riles has also given reassurances that if Kamikamiva is not fit to play when competition resumes, he will still be part of the final 17. Kamikamiva and the Storms take on the Raiders at 9:35 p.m. on Saturday. Meanwhile, the NRL resumes on Thursday with the Broncos playing Micah Sivo's Eels at 9:50 p.m. Taking a look at the weather today, cloudy periods with brief showers over the eastern parts and interior of the larger islands. Elsewhere, fine apart from possible afternoon or evening showers. Moderate southeast winds with moderate seas. And that is your FBC Morning News. Join us at 1 p.m. and 7 p.m. for our major bulletin. Remember, in times of crisis, you need factual news that you can trust. Stop believing fake news about the COVID-19 on social media. Fight misinformation by getting only the facts about the coronavirus from verified news sources like FBC's TV, radio and digital media news. www.fbcnews.com.fj. Keeping Fijians connected with the truth.
हमारे खूबसूरत देश फिजी में चाइल्ड अब्यूज की घटनाएं आए दिन बढ़ रही हैं।
क्यों बच्चों का मासूम बचपन अब्यूज का शिकार हो जाता है?
अपने बच्चों की सुरक्षा का खास ख्याल रखें।
उनसे बातचीत करें, उनके दोस्तों के बारे में जानें।
आज के बच्चे देश का भविष्य है। मैं दीप्ति
और मैं मोनिश,
आपके हमसफर। शामिल हो जाए हमारे साथ मंडे टू फ्राइडे
5:45 AM से 10 AM तक
रेडियो फिजी 2 देश की धड़कन पर।